Street Fighters. How are you doing? Well, I hope it's Wednesday night, Street Fight time. As usual, 6 p.m. Wednesday nights, Eastern Standard Time. We're doing the live stream. Twitch.tv/Street Fight Radio is the place to be. Watch it. Check it out. You can also listen to the show on WCRS LPFM in Columbus, Ohio. We've been doing this for a long time. There's people who've listened for a long time, for years. But to those of you that are new, thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you like what you hear. And you can join us for more book burnings and not telling you how to live. And very exciting thing today, which I know we're going to get into.
Oh, yeah. That's why we're starting at 6.
If you want to support the show, if you like what we do or how bad we do our jobs, and then support us. Patreon.com/StreetFightRadio. You can get access to our bonus shows, extra bonus content once a month. And I'm working on it. We're going to have merch again in the very near future. And so Patreon people will also be getting discount codes when that comes out as well. Go.
Okay, we don't have time to dilly-dally.
Okay.
But I just want to let everybody know my life is in shambles right now. Because, well, first of all, we're not going to be here Sunday because I'm watching the Super Bowl. But, so I have to say it now. My life is in shambles. We'll spend like 5-6 minutes on this, and then we'll go right into what we're going to do today. Hot water heater's broken.
That's fun.
I believe that it is from the piss hole incident.
How so?
Okay. Since I put the thing in the piss hole, water, when we wash the laundry, water like kind of puddles around the piss hole, but it goes away. It's a concrete floor. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So it dries up and everything. It goes away. So I don't want to tell him that there's something in the piss hole that's causing the water. But the hot water heater is about 2 feet from the piss hole. And it's the pilot light that won't stay lit in the hot water heater.
Okay.
And I'm starting to think that the water might have gotten under it and then corroded something in there. But I don't know about that.
I think it was because of all the torrential downpour of rain. Your basement's flooding.
Yeah,
you're at the bottom of a hill.
That's true. That is true.
And having lived in the side of town I live in, nobody has dry basements.
True.
True. You just have like a degree of wetness that your basement gets. So I don't know if you clogged it up that bad.
So here's the thing.
What's down there?
A thing that you keep a fuse in. Fuses come in these plastic things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it fell in there. But I don't know. I don't know if I broke it.
Should pass, but yeah.
But my landlord came yesterday and lit the pilot light, and then Gwen was like, fuck. The pilot light needs lit. So I went back down and lit the pilot light again. And it lit, but it didn't stay lit.
Okay.
So my landlord came back today and was like, it's still under warranty.
Oh, well then who cares?
They'll FedEx us the part in 2 days.
Oh. That's not good.
No. So I did take a shower. Well, Gwen took a shower at the gym last night. We just drove over to the gym with our stuff.
That's fun.
Hey, I'm getting my money's worth out of this place.
Yeah. You have a free shower you can use.
But I had to shower at the gym today, and it was disastrous. Just disastrous.
Calamity.
You can't fucking bring anything because it's wet in there. I don't want to be naked. So I think I'm going to take swim trunks tomorrow when I go to the gym.
Oh, yeah?
And then shower in swim trunks. But the problem with that is 90% of my shower is the area where the swim trunks are.
Yeah, you're gonna pull them down real quick, or just reach under the shorts like it looks like you're covering what you're doing with your hand. Probably not a good idea.
Then I got that idea from somebody, a guy that I saw earlier, but then he took the goddamn things off and was full on naked in the locker room. People love being naked in there, dude.
Yeah, it's great.
I tried to bring a shirt. I brought a shirt in with me, like a long sleeve shirt and my underwear, and hung them up on the towel thing.
To cover yourself?
Yeah, so that when I got done, I would dry myself off, put the underwear and then the long sleeve shirt, and then walk out.
Okay.
And put my clothes on. But the disaster in that was, one, I forgot to bring underwear. So I had to put on the underwear. I had just ran 5.5 miles.
Hell no. Fuck no. Nope.
That had also been hanging in the shower, getting wet. And then my shirt got a little bit wet because it was on the floor in the shower room. In a bag. And my hat was also on the floor in the shower room. And so basically everything under my clothes was wet. And then I had to walk home like that.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if the shower counts. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, you probably built some mildew on the way, having all that moisture trapped in.
It's so bad. And I gotta do it tomorrow. It's gonna be
learned.
at least till Saturday, dude.
Yeah, that's rough. And he's not gonna want to fix it.
He said because he kept telling me, he kept saying, it ain't right, Brian.
It ain't right?
It ain't right.
It ain't right what they're doing to you, damn it.
Yeah, that's what he kept saying to me. It ain't right what's happening here. I think it ain't right.
Whirlpool just fucked us all on this one.
It's a brand new fucking water heater. It's he told me it's a year and 4 days old.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I can't believe this has happened to me.
Maybe the piss hole it is, I guess. Probably is the piss hole.
It's karma.
You should tell him the piss hole story.
Nope.
See what he says.
Show
him the tool that you
use. I can't tell him the piss hole story. Oh, no. He doesn't want it. No. The fucking...
No makeshift tools?
Katie found one of the makeshift tools last week. It was, those things for s'mores?
The skewers?
Skewer for
fire?
s'mores? Yeah, there was one down in the basement all tangled up on itself in black for me trying to stick it down and jab it and pull it out like they do litter.
Stab it?
Yeah, you know how they do litter? Remember back in the day when they would show a guy cleaning up litter?
Yeah, with a long spike.
You have that spike with the little thing around it. That is the thing I was, that's the method I was trying. Because I tried shop vac, and all that stuff.
It's plastic?
So. It is. But I think it's just slightly too thick plastic.
Too thick?
Yeah, to stab.
To stab, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think, unless I had a sword.
I have a long grabby hand.
It won't. But the problem with that is the hole's only like this big.
Okay. My grabby hand is tiny.
Right. But I think in all the stabbing motions, I've kind of tightened it in there,
So if it's on packaging, does it have like a peg hook on the top? Would there be able to hook it around that?
No, it is like a plastic box.
Yeah. But it didn't hang on like a peg board?
I don't think so, no. I don't think so. It's just, it's not gonna, he's gonna have to get it out, but I'm not gonna fucking tell him it's there. So, that's where we're at right now. And then he fucking comes up to me this morning while I'm fucking doing Legos, and he's like, "Hey, I was listening to your podcast last night." So,
okay, he'll catch up. He'll figure it out. Wait a minute. Yeah, you just told on yourself. So you now speak to your landlord through the podcast, is what you're saying.
I don't think he listens to every episode because he was actually listening to an old guest spot I did on a podcast. He just searched, I think, Street Fight Radio.
Gotcha.
And then he said, I listened to you talking about Howard Stern and Opie and Anthony yesterday. And I was like, oh, yeah, Shocktober? You listened to a Shocktober? No. It was an appearance on the Merry-Go-Round podcast where I was being interviewed about Howard Stern and Opie and Anthony. So, yeah. He's like, I don't know anything, so I don't know anything about those guys, but I couldn't sleep, so I decided to listen to some Street Fight. And I'm like, oh, God, it scares me every time. I'm afraid he's just going to be like, that hole down there is not a piss hole.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't know how memeable his basement is. He has no idea.
He doesn't have a memeable basement. Yeah, everybody keeps...
We make every basement popular.
We have.
Whenever we go there.
We're the basement kings.
Yeah, we make it a thing.
We're the basement doctors. Basement doctors on the job. So we got one story I want to do really quick. Did you see Starbucks fired like 7 union organizers?
I saw some tweets of someone said they got fired for some shit they never even knew about.
Yeah.
And that was the one I saw.
Which is...
standard.
They fired several key workers in Memphis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they fired what appears to me to be 7 employees in Memphis.
That were starting the
Hi,
talks?
I'm Deborah.
Yeah.
from
I'm also
Colorado.
going to tell you
I've been
this.
married
What's
to my
wild
high
about
school
this
sweetheart
is
for 34
we all know
years.
how much
I'm a mother of
conservatives
4,
hate
always busy.
Starbucks. But
was
now
starting
they're
to feel a little
doing
confident,
union,
just didn't
like
feel like
active
things were
union
shocking. I
busting.
knew they
They're
were
just going to
desperate.
kill off all
I
their
heard about Prevagen, and I
supporters.
started
I mean,
thinking
it's not
about
like we can
it.
put
Started noticing
Starbucks out
it
of
a little
business,
sharper
but at
and
least
clearer.
like
I feel
there
like
is a
it
certain
kept me in
type
my
of
game.
person
I'm able to remember
that
things,
is
give
like,
it a
boy,
try.
I love Starbucks. You know, I go and buy all the reusable cups. I buy all the Starbucks merch. I found that because
Yeah. Yeah.
right around Christmas, I was searching to see if conservatives were mad at Starbucks this year. They weren't, actually.
Yeah, I also don't think that liberals give a fuck about unions at all.
Even New York City's teachers union or the school
Shit.
district or LA
Sorry,
is
guys.
doing.
Sorry, listeners.
What happened?
A video auto played on Fox.
Oh, I should have had cans in.
So
I
yeah.
got small cans.
So yeah, like if you know anybody connected to this, you know, obviously we'd love to talk to them.
Flubba-dubba-dub-dub.
That's a little flub, yeah. And fuck Starbucks, but the real place we got to talk about today, of course, is a place that I love.
Yeah.
And Brett turned me on to this place that I love, so I know he loves it too. And that is the REI Co-op,
Yes.
which after what we're going to play on this show, I am so fucking mad at them, and I'm going to tell you why. Because that co-op word, it's like, it feels so cynical now when you look at, because we know it's not an employee co-op, it's a customer co-op.
Yeah.
And really what that is it's like a $20 Sam's Club card that lasts your whole life. and I always wondered, like, how is this a co-op if they only want $20 from me? And then they just keep handing me money, but it's a customer co-op.
Yeah.
And
it just means you just get better returns, really. You get a better return policy. You have up to a year for any fucking thing that goes wrong. I mean, you pimped that system like crazy at the beginning with the walking shoes. You were like, I walked in these for 3 months. They're all broken to hell. And they're like, well, go grab another pair, sir. You know?
yeah.
You did. You've benefited from that system a lot. But it's wildly overpriced. If you do price comparisons.
Oh, yeah.
You can't. Unless you use the 20% off coupons. It's the most ridiculously expensive stuff. And I did listen to this podcast earlier too, and I think that these are the people that go to Starbucks, so therefore they don't care. I think that liberals in this country know in their hearts that unions are bad for them. Like they are not. They are in the type of managerial class that is always the point of scorn when it comes to unions.
But let me ask this: what about the virtue signaling aspect of liberals, right? Like, I hate to use the word virtue signaling, right? But, like, aren't they supposed to like unions? Like, isn't that part of the virtue of being a liberal?
Not that I know.
Really?
Not that I've ever... Maybe... I don't know. I guess Democrats do pose with unions from time to time.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I'm just past the point where I was a kid and I made assumptions and I was stupid and they were never like that. You know, in reality, they've never been like that actually, or done or made any sort of brave stance or, you know, anything that I would call pro-union. I think that as far as I know, I'm pessimistic about everything. Everybody
agree.
fucking hates them, is what I know. And it's amazing because, like you said, people that do like, oh, I care about the earth and I care about everything. I care about racial politics. I care about source of materials. I don't care about the living wages of someone that works at a store because they're on their own destiny and they have to level up their character to the point of having sustainable source of income, you know?
I don't care about any part of the supply chain.
Yeah.
It's
just ignoring it's ignoring one of them.
Yeah.
Because they got the most expensive shit that you can get there. If you want, you know, materials and the high quality materials, if you want fucking egg protein and shit, they'll sell you the most expensive shit in the world. But then there's people that are there making this shit go around that are like, it's the same thing with the burgers. Like we talked about with Burgerville, where it's like, you know, these cows are our best friends and they're treated like dogs actually. But the people that make the shit, fuck them. I mean, they're stupid asses. They're not. What do they think? They're going to become a millionaire by working at REI? By working at Burgerville? It's a job. It's not like liberals and conservatives agree that like anybody that works customer service should be fucking struggling.
Yeah, that they should be. They're on the bottom rung of a ladder.
It's meant to burn your ass so much you start climbing higher. It's meant to crush you into a diamond.
Yeah, and I mean that's the best way to put it because like nobody ever looked at me like a guy that was going to stay forever at a job until cable. Because as a roofer, I mean, people roof forever, but I was hired on as a laborer, not as like a expert or craftsman or something like that. So it was looked up. My roofing career was looked upon as like, well, we need a guy to get us through this time. And at Kroger, it always felt like, hey, you're fucking, you know, have fun working here, but you know, you got to get out of here if you want to make something of yourself.
Do something better than this.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, we've said this a million times. Like, I like customer service jobs. I hate customers, but I like customers. I liked those jobs. I liked working in retail with, like, some small little changes. I could have done it for the rest of my life.
Jesus Christ. I was at a BB Bop the other day, and this lady running the place was, like, the best, was so with it and was like coordinating things on the fly. And I'm like, give her a fucking house right now and a car that works. Give her a car with a warranty right now. Cause I know she's getting there in a fucking beater to work at BB Bop. But like I walked in, like I was super early. She prioritized my order. She jumped in line, grabbed it so that it would go fast. Like it was, and she was so right on, and she was helping make everything. And it was one of those moments of clarity where it's like people are made. Some people are just made to do this. Yeah. Some people like this should be a fucking career because instead we just funnel any warm body through here and you fuck it up. There's people shouldn't be doing this shit. You know,
the experience sucks because the people that are doing it don't really care about doing it. And I mean that's with the roofing thing, right? Like you could hire laborers, but have most of the people in the place as like people that are staying for a career, and the experience would be so much better. And a lot of times the people that thrive in those environments like doing it. Yeah. People think that like it's this thing that's like torture being in retail or working at a restaurant or any of that stuff. But there are a certain amount of people at every one of these places that actually like doing it and a lot more of them would love doing it if they were paid fairly and treated nice and shit like that. Like theoretically, you could have employees that like their jobs.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to make happen.
Yeah.
Most of us could be bought off for pretty fucking cheap.
Oh God. $40,000 a year I'm bought off.
Yeah.
You know, all right. Well, I mean, I make that. Okay, so a little bit more than $40,000 a year.
Right.
And I'm like, fine, I'll fucking work at Woolworths.
Right.
They got to bring Woolworths back.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, I think
Hey,
so.
Woolworth's coming back.
I invested in
Vintage
it.
brands.
I invested in Woolworths.
Yeah, I got diamond hands on my grandpa stock certificates on Woolworths.
For people that don't know, Woolworths was a store that sold clothes, pets,
Yeah.
video games,
Fresh popcorn.
fresh popcorn, that pizza, and it was in the mall. The oddest place for
Fucking birds screeching. So many birds screeching. And yeah.
You just don't have businesses like that no more.
Yeah, you can't do it. You know.
All right.
We've realized it was bad, maybe.
So weirdly enough, REI released a podcast, which, in my opinion, is crazy.
Dope.
And Brett, when I got up today, my palms were sweating. I was nervous. I went straight to the page. And I was like, oh, thank God it's still fucking there. Because I thought for sure it would come down. So I tried to download it this morning. There's not a download link. And I'm so glad to see that it's there now.
You're right. I actually I saw someone posted about it, and then I was like, I don't want to listen to it right now. I'll listen to it tomorrow before the show. And then when I went to listen today, I was like, oh fuck, it might not exist anymore. I had the same thought, and that's what I like about this. This is just a really amazing artifact and of like corporate culture and where they're at, and like this dude is like a stone cold killer. Like he's as scary to me as like the Inglourious Bastards guy, like that Christopher Waltz guy. When he's asking, he's so calm and he is so just.
He's scary.
He knows all the lingo. He knows how to say things in a way. Like he is so studied and such a trained psychopath. You know, that it's incredible because it all seems like very like this guy's. He uses pronouns. You know, he recognizes diversity. You know, like this guy, and it's incredible.
But we'll play the beginning.
Let's get into it.
Start
Let's start it up.
Hi, REI. My name is Wilma Wallace, and I serve as your Chief Diversity and Social Impact Officer. I use she, her pronouns, and am speaking to you today from the traditional lands of the Ohlone people. So I'm here chatting with Eric Arts, who serves the co-op and all of us as CEO. Eric, welcome. I know you emailed all employees 2 weekends ago to let us know what was going on in Soho before we saw it in the news. And we know employees have lots of questions about what's going on. So just to recap for the audience, on Friday, January 21st, we were notified
getting
by the
in
National
there,
Labor Relations
getting started,
Board that the Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union filed a petition for an election at our Soho store in New York.
You know, something I gotta say about this is, it seems like, and I don't know what Wilma and Eric look like, but when I was listening to it, like it felt like I was listening to an NPR show. Like it had the voice, the way that they're saying things.
I know people that do podcasts for our local insurance companies, like for the interior, for like the buildings. Like, hey, Building 5, this is your podcast. It's 10, 15 minutes of like reading notes. It's very popular, especially with the liberal ass companies. And you're right, they do. These people are so perfectly media trained. It's unsettling.
Yeah.
And since then, I'm sure you've heard from lots of employees across the co-op. Maybe we can start by you sharing some of what you've heard.
Well, thank you.
All right. Before we get into Eric, I do also want to say, well, actually, let him talk. We'll let him talk for a minute.
Wilma, thanks for hosting, and hello to everyone that is listening. For those of you who I have not had the chance to meet, I use he, him pronouns, and I'm speaking to you today from the traditional lands of the Coast Salish peoples.
I want to say that, like, It is so strange to me what this podcast is, who these people are, what they are doing, what the meaning of this is. And also you have to feel like it's kind of nice that they're acknowledging pronouns and being on like the land acknowledgments and pronouns. Like, I like to see that. I don't like it here for some. It bugs me.
Well, it's just fakery. I mean,
Yeah.
It's just a matter that they thread the needle. They thread the needle around their employees having a say in their workplace. Like, they agree that this is stolen land. They agree that Black Friday is a horrible work situation. But they don't agree that the employees should have any sort of opinion on how REI Co-op runs its business.
No.
The Sohos, they have their own ideas, you know?
I hope Soho just turns that REI into a co-op.
But yeah, I mean, it is like, you know, these people, this is what's obnoxious. This is why it's so easy for people to just share shit on Instagram and to say the right stuff and then behave in a way that still continues the same system, the same shitty old system where your dumbass gets how much more than everybody else. Like, you're getting paid how much more than everybody else in this so-called co-op to be the fucking CEO, when it's like, it's just people in green vests selling overpriced outdoor gear. And you're making so much.
The first time you said overpriced, I let it go by like a pitch. And then you say overpriced again, and I'm like, what is it that they can't afford to pay? Everything's $100 more there than it is anywhere else.
I mean, okay, Soho, the Hoka running shoes are like $170 a pair. I'm guessing you sell 50 to 100 of them a day in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
To anyone who sent me a note over the last couple of weeks, for taking the time to send your thoughts, your concerns, your direct feedback.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think
and
he's
yes,
very
many
happy about
questions.
that.
And well, I hope to answer some of those questions during this conversation and help me make sure we
Oh,
give
here he
people
goes.
information on where to find more facts and answers before we sign off today, assuming we don't get to everything. I want employees to know I read every note I receive, always, and that's no matter the topic. We capture the feedback and we
Let's get his email address and send him emails.
I mean, I don't know. It's just, I mean, I'm envious. I think I'm a hater of this guy because maybe it's just all performance, but I feel like he does wake up and think like he's doing a good job in the world. Like, he's actually one of the good bosses. He talks in a casual way that doesn't really ever get blustery or anything like that, where it just is like, you know, trying to be all matter of fact and shit. But it's like, yeah.
He's using our powers for evil.
Exactly. Right. That's a good way to say it.
Like, he's doing
I'm
this-
emotionally available to all of my employees. Don't listen to anything you had to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
best to have someone follow up directly or address your questions.
I try my best to have someone
Our
follow up.
normal
I can't get
communication
it done.
tools. Now, the fact that you take the time to reach out directly is part of what I believe makes REI such a special place. You're here because you care. You
Do you
care
think
enough
he
to reach
cursed
out and
when he
speak
first
up.
heard?
And that fact itself is central to what I hope we'll discuss today. And to your question, Wilma, over the last few weeks, many of our employees have sent me questions specific to what is happening in Soho. I think it's important that we all remember, because of the petition that's been filed and the legal process that we are now in, we cannot answer all of those questions. And that
That's a
doesn't
great
mean I'm
one. I
choosing
mean, that's a
not to share
classic.
what I know with you.
That's a standard.
Let him,
This
because
means we're in a legal process. And
there we go.
He's doing this for us. He's doing this for strangers that are going to pick this up.
Yeah.
Because he wants it to be spread far and wide that, like, hey, I'd love to say it, but, like, they got a gag order on us, you know?
Well,
we can't do anything now that they've started doing this. Like, we can't even talk about it. Golly, these unions, they sure do make things difficult.
Somebody on Twitter said this, and I wish I could fucking credit them. It was just something I said yesterday. He was like, I wonder which union busting firm is selling the progressive union buster package, where they tell you to do, this is the way you do it if you're a progressive progressive company? And also, why didn't Starbucks buy that package instead of the package that they're using?
Yeah, they bought the Crackdown pack.
Yeah, they bought the fire fucking 7 people pack when these guys bought the like, hey, man, you know, it hurts my feelings that I can't tell you all this stuff because y'all got the courts involved.
Hey, just chill out. You know, have some tiger milk. Have a tiger milk bar. Just, God, you're sounding real hangry right now. I get the same. You know, and I'm like, you know, why aren't things good enough? And it's also it's because I'm not good enough. It's
That's a move, though.
Yeah.
My trainer told me I need to eat 200 grams of protein a day.
Fire them. There's a good podcast called The Maintenance Phase. They have a protein one that takes all that shit down.
Okay, good. Because he was like, I need you to have 200 milligrams of protein a day. And I was like, dude.
That's insane. You're not a bodybuilder.
Yeah, true. But I told him I wanted my goal was maybe to be on that CrossFit machine again, where all the guys are climbing around looking ripped. So
what does that mean?
It's like a big, like, square thing with like different bars and stuff on it, and guys are just fucking extremely ripped people are like always hanging around on it and doing different kinds of pull-ups and push-ups and stuff. I'm like,
gotcha.
I want to do that.
Sure.
All right.
Allow me to do so. But that said, there will be a time and there will be a place to share more, and employees have my commitment that we will do so.
Well, Eric, I do know that one of the top questions that must be on people's minds is why REI doesn't think unionization is the right thing for the co-op or for the employees.
I love this.
Maybe you can speak a little to that.
Sure, Wilma. I want to be very clear about one thing. We fully support the rights of our employees to speak and act for what they believe. And that includes the right of our team in Soho to explore, pursue, and ultimately vote on the question of unionization.
He
It's
sounds
their decision to
disappointed.
make, and we're going to respect.
Doesn't he sound disappointed in the store though? Like where he's like, you know, we can support it, but
I don't think so.
really?
No, I think he's doing like a pump fake. I think he's saying what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Because he's just plainly saying like, hey, I want to make sure that that the people can vote on this. He's saying that because that's what he wants people to hear. That's what he wants us to hear. But then it's a sandwich. It's sandwich in between all this. Golly gee, we're tied up in legal, so we can't even do anything. It's tied up in, you know, we also do all these wonderful things for our employees, you know. But he does, like, that's why I say this is cold blooded, is because he does come out and say it, like. He's not like flinching at saying like he's not saying I don't want this to happen. He knows he has to. He's trying to pretend like he's enjoying this, or you know, or that like he's not enjoying it. Not enjoying. He's pretending like he's I don't know, okay with the process.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it.
You know, but
I'm totally
the last
fine.
thing this guy wants is a vote.
I believe in the motherfucking law, my friend. And guess what? The law is always on our side.
I don't know.
He makes $3 milli. The CEO of REI in 2016 made $3 million.
That's not as much as you might think, but it's still $3 million. Well, let us.
In this process. Look, well, I understand this is an issue where feelings run strong, and I want everybody at the co-op to hear this. The team in Soho are co-op employees first and foremost.
Well, no, they're
They're
humans.
part of our co-op community today, and they will be part of our community tomorrow, no matter what.
As long as we don't fire them.
We're friends.
So to your question of why, I'd like to share some thoughts really from two perspectives. From a co-op perspective, and I will also offer my opinion on why I do not believe a union will serve REI employees' best interests.
It's always so interesting. I've never heard a CEO say that I think a union, it'd probably be good for you guys to get a union in here. I might pay you more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's like the setup is like, I want y'all to vote. I totally want y'all to vote, but guess what? It's not right. It just hurts my feelings to think about it.
That is the move now, though. That's the union busting move so often now. Is like, I can't believe you guys would even do this.
You knew my inbox was open. You could have emailed me. I want to deal with things on a one-to-one basis.
Yeah. I told this story a long time ago, probably, when I snuck out of my house. And I stayed the night at a girl's house, and I decided to walk home at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and the door was locked. The door that I snuck out of was locked, and all the windows were locked. And I didn't fucking know that my parents knew for some reason. So I slept in the car, and then at like 8 in the morning, I went to walk in, and they were like, "Where have you been?" And I was like, "Oh, I got up early and went shopping with Tiffany." And
Smart.
yeah. But they were like, "No, you didn't. You haven't been in your room all night." And then like, it's the one time this worked with them, but my dad was like, "I don't know. It just makes me sad that you would lie to me like this." And that is the worst punishment I ever received in my life. That's the one that hit me harder than any other punishment. And like I know it was probably being manipulative and shit, but they usually would yell at us. And that's why I'm looking at this, and I get that vibe out of this. I get that, like, I can't believe you guys would do something like this, you know? Yeah, I'm always available to you, okay? And if you had just come to me and asked, I would have told you no, but I would have liked it more if you didn't.
Yeah, no, they do a lot of, I've always been available. We are always giving you stuff. I mean, in my opinion, we do better one-on-one. Like, it's, but it's all done in this, like, the just, like, sitting in near the fireplace with, like, your dad that's smarter than you. It's like, you know, this sounds good because you're getting wild with your thoughts and you're thinking, oh, we make so much more money off this overpriced shit. I should be making more money, you know, but you don't understand, you know, you'll understand when you're older.
Yeah. You'll understand when you're the CEO of your own company.
Yeah, once you're the CEO of a co-op like me, like then you'll see that like they can't get more money.
Yeah.
Start by saying unions are important and valuable, and they play a vital role in supporting the rights of workers across many workplaces, companies, and industries.
This is also
In
how you
fact-
do land rights and be racist as fuck and also have a dream catcher at your house and a teepee for your baby and all that stuff too. It's just so hollow because you can just say like, hey, these are good things to think. I'm going to say them.
How you felt like Black Lives Matter was like a really important moment in history, but you couldn't make it.
Right.
To the protest because you didn't want to get beat up or whatever.
Yeah, or we moved on from there and then we're done like doing anything that intense again, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Many of the workplace laws we now have in place can be traced back to union support. My
Yeah.
father was a teacher in a teachers union and led the union when I was a teenager, and I have experienced unions in other businesses and sectors that I have served.
Your dad's
So when
probably really
people
proud of
ask,
you, Eric.
Why don't we support unions? My answer is simple. We do not oppose unions.
Yes.
It's that we don't believe, I do not believe, that introducing a union is the right thing for REI. And more specifically, I believe the presence of union representation will impact our ability to communicate and work directly with our employees and resolve
Yes, exactly.
concerns.
That's because the problem, yeah, that's great.
And when he says I'm always open to emails, it's like, listen, dude, we don't fucking send emails to you because we know that you're just gonna fucking do what you do.
Yeah.
That's not gonna impact you in any fucking way.
Here's how it goes right now. You're an individual employee in Soho. You say, hey, we sell 100 pairs of $200 shoes every single day. And everyone around here is scraping 2 pennies together to make their rent. What's going on? And our individual relationship ends at that point because you fire me. Or because you don't promote me. Or you find that I'm hard to work with. Now every, you know, you're right. It's so sad that we can't talk one-to-one. I mean, we could go hang out and party and do jello shots and shit, Eric. Like, if you want to go to the club or a baseball game, we can do that. Union won't stop that.
No.
But at work, yeah, I mean, it's all of us. We have opinions about the way this shit goes down. And you as an individual, all you do is get fired for speaking up about your conditions at work. There's nobody can argue with that. No, I don't give a fuck what you've experienced. When you're on your own, you just get fired. Mm-hmm. You just get kicked out. You just get feed to death. You get attendance violations. You get written up. Whatever it is, like you're fucking out of there.
You don't get a raise because they say you have a bad attitude because you brought up the fact that, like, hey, this part of my job. Listen, I'll fucking say it like this. Even when it is a issue that can't be solved with more money, they usually still won't move on it anyway. Like, they always have this idea of, like, hey, we have this way. Like, I always think about it in this term. Hey, we have this way of doing things so that we can count you. We can metric you to death.
Yeah.
And then you say, this way of doing things is making this very inconvenient and not easy to fucking do. And then they say, yeah, I get it. I agree. But we can't count you another way. So we got to do it this. This is just the way we do it. And it never sort of gets up. First of all, if you email the CEO, he's not, it's not him reading it. And if he is reading it, he's just going like, oh, God, okay.
And for him, all he has to do is say, hey, thank you, Brian, for your input. I do acknowledge the input of every single employee, and I sure do appreciate it. Like, you don't have to do anything with it. It's not like there's a ticket that's created and he has to remedy the problem. He just has to say, golly gee, I'll hear anything you got to say.
Yeah. And it doesn't help. I mean, I'm sure the Soho people have tried to fix this, and it didn't work. And the thing is, like, REI is widely known as a pretty good employer when it comes to working retail. I even talked to some people who worked there that were like, yeah, it's got a good reputation when it comes to this shit. And it's like something had to go in a bad direction in this Soho store. And this caused that. Something wasn't right. Something bad was happening there.
Right.
At the speed the world is moving, and that is the core of why we don't think that introducing a union is the right thing for our employees. So, Wilma, allow me to unpack this a little bit.
Okay.
A big part of what unions
Thread
exist
one
to do
slash.
is to speak for employees where and when they don't have a voice.
Yeah.
The very essence of a co-op is actually contrary to that, because in a co-op we turn towards one another. That does not mean we agree on everything. That means we come together based on shared beliefs or common expectations, and we work together to solve problems.
Psychotic.
It's not a co-op.
It's a top-down hierarchical organization where these people have to do what the fuck you say, Eric. You're not like all pulling out a parachute and like playing parachute together and like, let's come together and decide what we're going to do. You tell people what's going to happen. Yeah. You're in charge, motherfucker.
It's not, and you make $3 million a year, so it's very easy for you to have inconveniences.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a very hard sell. That he really sent it right there.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts.
Things like the co-op way. It is our agreement with one another in terms of how we will expect each other to behave and to interact. It's why we have open door policies. And things like employee inclusion networks to hear voices to build community.
Employee inclusion networks?
Yeah, that's what he called it.
Employee inclusion networks? Are you crazy?
You mean
like there's like Indian employees that think just like Eric does?
Engagement surveys.
We seek out and find BIPOC people that think just like Eric, and we give them promotions.
The funny thing is too, the other thing that he brought up there. Let me Google this real quick. Is the co-op way, which is their ideas around stewardship and impact and co-op leadership and life at REI and stuff for members and board of directors and stuff like that. So like the co-op way is something that doesn't really meaningfully impact the employees that are working there. It's PR. It's 100%. It feels good to go out and like clean up a lake. Yeah, that's for fucking sure. Okay.
I don't know. It's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't help you in any I mean, it helps you in drinking water for the future or whatever. But like, as far as going home and sitting in your apartment and fucking like leafing through different bills, it doesn't do anything for that.
Right.
That it doesn't help with.
Right.
All right, here he goes.
Pulse surveys to understand where your experience is working and where it's not working. And then we work together to make it better. I believe every one of you, every employee at REI has a direct voice in speaking to and influencing every aspect of the employee experience, from health and safety to pay and benefits to where and when REI puts our values into action. Now, I know that because I hear from you directly. I value open conversation. Not only value it, but I expect it, and I need it for me to do my job and for.
So now he's doing a thing that I love from union busters, union busting CEOs. This is the key. Is I know we're doing a good job because when I visit the stores and I talk to people, they tell me that we're doing a good job.
Yeah, they tell me it's the best.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go.
Yeah.
I come to them in the circle, in the healing circle, and they're like, "You're doing so great, Eric. You're killing it."
You know,
we honor you.
Jan is mean to us all the time, and he's like, he's just like, well, you know, Jan is a high performing general manager, so we're gonna have to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Or like you're being again. This goes back to your being difficult.
Yeah, maybe you can manifest a different work experience.
Yeah, this isn't positive. Like he comes up and says, "How do you think the co-op's going?"
Yeah,
and you're like, "Well, you know, there's some stuff about the attendance policy," and he's
doing
like,
some clopenings.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, you got a negative attitude though.
You know, a little cardamom, if you just light that before bed, it can alleviate some of this. There's lots of. Let me send you my spells. Some of my favorite spells today.
Really get better for you, our employees, for our members, and for our customers. Every employee has the right to expect me to listen, to hear, to understand concerns and ideas and suggestions.
Okay.
I hold myself to that standard, and I try to hold all REI leaders to that same standard.
And it doesn't work.
At co-op, we learn and grow by listening. We improve by being open to feedback, both positive and negative.
This guy talking to me like a kindergarten teacher
yeah,
is
I know.
killing me.
No, it feels like you're in big trouble, and you've had it pretty good around here, and I didn't say anything, you know, but now I'm gonna put some hurting on you.
He sounds
I'm
like
gonna turn the screws. You thought it was a gravy train that I was running in this house, you know, but we're gonna get in ship shape. We're gonna start doing chores. You know, every Saturday we're gonna start doing chores. We're gonna wake you up.
That's the co-op way.
That's the co-op way. We kick it and we do chores.
Yep.
You're in big trouble, Buster.
This is
Agree, but it does always mean we should listen and be heard even when we disagree.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean every problem is solved. It doesn't
None
mean
of
that
them,
every
arguably.
individual concern can be addressed. I don't know of any.
No, I mean, your way means that, yeah, you're right. I mean, one person cannot make a big enough stink about an issue to make any sort of change in the workplace. But if everybody that does the same job were to point out an issue, then we have something going on there.
Because one person is a pain in the ass.
Right,
and
right.
a union may be a pain in the ass, but they have to listen to you at that point. One person, always know this. I did not have a union when I worked at the cable company. I was a massive pain in the ass in meetings where I argued with every little fucking thing.
Yep.
And the way I was looked at was he's negative.
Yeah. Pessimistic, pain in the ass, troublemaker.
Yeah. Now, if there had been a union, all of these things that I was saying that most of the people agreed with me on might have had a shot of being fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One is a pain in the ass. A union is the right kind of pain in the ass that gets things done, I think.
I mean, even if I'm sorry, but I'm not even impressed with what unions even get these days. You know, it seems like it's a fucking battle and a struggle, and that the company is still winning most fucking things. We have no strike unions and all kinds of shit. So, yeah, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. Well, I think they can handle it.
That's what I said when we talked about the Starbucks thing too. Was like, man, if I'm fucking running a company, and especially in 2022, I think that like, I think how bad could it be to have a union? We can directly negotiate with them and not change anything because the union, like if once the union agrees on it, then nothing's going to change after that. Like you're going to get the benefits from the union once it's agreed on, but it's not like this endless process where they're constantly dealing with the union.
Right.
That's not true. I just feel like, and I said this about the Starbucks thing, I feel like it's easier for these companies just to have the union.
Yeah.
How much can it really fucking cost
to
have a union? And
Ford does a good job of it.
Yeah. I made $5.50 an hour working for a union at Kroger. So it's not like there are, like, it just, a union is good because issues can be addressed that will never be addressed without it. That's why you have it.
Absolutely.
Problems from time to time. But the real question in my mind is when those issues come up, when we are faced with challenges, how do we best meet and overcome them? And for me anyway, I want to do that working together, working directly with you, our employees.
Well, you can do that.
This is it.
You can actually do that.
Yeah, now we do that. Because here's the thing. When you're one guy and you have like 10,000 employees you're trying to email with, kind of hard to get that calendar together, you know? But instead of, we have just like a block of us that you meet with, and then we'll discuss things.
Well, I can tell you, and I can use the Royal Rumble as an example of this.
Interesting.
Every year in the Royal Rumble, or at any battle royal, pretty much, there is a 500-pound guy in there that's just tall and huge and can fuck everybody up. Nobody can get this guy over the rope, and you're over the top rope, and you're just sitting there watching like, this guy's gonna fucking win.
Yes, sure.
You know, he gets to do, he's in here imposing his will. He can fucking do anything he wants in here. He's just slapping people around. They gather around him and they start beating him up, and he goes like this, and he like puts his arm out and they all fall away. Mm-hmm. And it seems like a hopeless situation for the people that are involved in this thing. But then they all get together and they push him to the ropes. And they fling him over the ropes, and boom, he's gone.
One guy per limb.
Yeah, and he's gone. He gets out, and then it becomes another thing. And it's like, that is the perfect way to describe, like...
Yeah, all the little fish can take down the big fish.
Yeah, because if I fucking come to... If I come to the CEO of this company, and I say, I don't like the way this is working, he swats me off into the corner.
Motherfucking Big Show.
Big
Show throws you right out.
Yeah. And if somebody else, me and Brett goes up to this guy, and we start fighting him, boom, still in the corner. 4 or 5 people still in the corner. You need a bunch of people working together to make this guy address the issues that you want. He is not addressing.
No, he thinks he's doing great.
Yeah,
he's driving around in his Porsche with the top down.
But I guarantee he's not addressing any of the issues that are brought to him in those emails.
He just knows what to say. He just listens to the NPR podcast.
It's like when I'm sorry. It's like when you send a letter to your congressperson and they mail you back the form letter that's like, the things you said are very interesting.
Yeah.
It's like Gwen was sending letters to all of our representatives about critical race theory.
Okay.
Like that she's into it. She wants to do critical race theory.
Yeah, on CRT.
Yeah, and she kept getting the form letters back that are like, you made a lot of interesting points, but, you know, I'm glad we can take this journey together in Ohio, whatever the thing is.
It's really neat that you wrote in.
Yeah, but there's still not solving the problem.
No, they're not going to address it.
Where I always get it right. We will make mistakes, we all do. Every workplace, including here at REI, can always strive to be better.
What, here?
You know,
At
if we reflect
REI?
on the last 2 years, we've navigated the pandemic. We have all faced challenges in how we work, how we connect, taking care of ourselves, our families, each other. We have been put in situations and under stress levels that few of us had experienced before, nor
No
hopefully
shit,
will ever
dude.
experience.
I know,
Well-
yeah, you don't even come off with. I mean,
Yeah.
that's also bogus.
But he did it.
If you got if you have the guts to try to be like, oh, I'm an activist, like I'm in the streets, like activist. You know me, right?
Yeah.
You can't do that because you had it easy.
No.
You had easy street.
If you're
the whole
like the-
time, you should feel bad if you're going to be a woke CEO. You should be apologizing for your existence a little bit.
Yeah, and if you know, we all know that in 2020 when the big Black Lives Matter stuff was happening, you know, some Congress people and shit like that would show up and they would yell and they would get credit for showing up at the thing, but they weren't getting smacked around by the police and
Right.
pepper sprayed and flashbangs and shit like that. Like, he was not at risk
Yeah, and
the same way his employees were at risk in the early days of COVID pre-vaccine.
he paid somebody to get tested to come over and set up like a VR fucking chamber at his mansion to do his calls and his meetings, and he never had to think twice about shit.
Yeah.
He has enough money. You have enough money to do what you want.
Yeah, I could have
CEO,
been.
motherfuckers.
I
They
could have
do what
been
they want.
having a time of my life in lockdown if
Yeah,
I
exactly.
had $3 million.
I mean, I guess you should. I guess he is right. He was saying a struggle for. I don't know. For
Not for
everybody else.
him,
but not
though.
for him. No.
Yeah, he's
He's
throwing
trying to.
himself.
He's
in
trying to.
there.
Yeah, he's like showing up to the bar at the patio and everybody's smoking, and he's like, "Ah, god damn, man, I'm really getting raked over the coals. Like, what's going on?" They're like, "I mean, everybody at work hates me," and they're like, "Yeah, I've been there before." And he's like, "I mean, I just because like I'm the CEO, but I come with them with equal love, you know, and I want to talk to them individually. I just don't want to pay them."
I care about the co-op the same way they do.
I do. I'm just like thinking about the co-op mostly.
Yeah.
Keeping it running.
Yeah.
We had a good thing going.
And for the most part, I am extremely proud of how we as a co-op work through and
Oh,
together,
well, good for you,
supporting
buddy.
one another during this challenging time period.
That comes off as him saying
And I
he's proud
said-
of himself.
For the
Yeah,
most-
it is. I mean, that's what I mean when it feels like Dad sitting in a velvet chair in front of the fire. When he's just like, I love our communication. I love that we can just talk about stuff and I can explain how wrong you are. And you receive that information.
You don't hear a lot of people. Maybe you do. I don't hear a lot of people like being like super proud of themselves.
Yeah.
I don't ever feel that like, man, I really handled that.
We shouldn't validate people that are proud of themselves.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea.
Yeah.
They get run away with shit.
That's probably why we're not CEOs. Because
Right.
this guy's all proud of himself. And you know, whatever was going on at the beginning of the pandemic, maybe I thought REI was doing a really good job at the beginning of the pandemic because I liked REI. Like, I was like, yeah, REI's great. You know, you got to get outdoors, you know? And especially during this COVID-19 pandemic where it's safer to be outdoors. We got to get out there. We got to get out in the
Sure.
goddamn woods. And then when this came out, I was like, I don't feel so good about REI anymore.
I mean, I don't think they're any different from any other company to me.
No.
I mean, most places this is the response. There's nothing to expect otherwise from any company that you fuck with. You should not feel good about any purchase that you make outside of REI.
That's a good point. But I'm saying that you do get this thing in your mind. I get this thing in my mind where like they haven't done anything yet to make me hate them. And now they've just joined in with fucking Target and Walmart and everything else.
I like their warranty more than anything.
I do too.
That's the best. That's
It's
the most
great.
appealing thing to
I like
me.
the dividend too.
Yeah, a little bit of money back.
Wow, they give you like $65
Break you
sometimes.
something off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, thanks for fucking with us.
Yeah. And you go in there. I got $45 last year. That's how I got my hydro flask.
Congratulations.
Free. And then when I got it, Katie was like, I can't believe you got a hydro flask. And I said like, oh, it was essentially free.
Yeah.
There have been real challenges over the last 2 years. Most of all, because I know the connections and the relationships we have with one another that have made the co-op so special haven't been happening in the same way in normal conditions. You know, we strive to have a workplace that is fun, that's engaging. We do outside trainings and events, and we have awards and recognition and community stewardship
I love that part. Does he keep going?
Yeah.
Keep rocking with it for a second.
projects. COVID has not allowed us to do all of those things.
Yeah, pause it. Yeah, I love that part.
COVID
He's so up his own ass. That's so egotistical.
Yeah.
I'm just, guys, I'm sitting here and I'm like, what the fuck? We make you do community service. We make you watch films about racism. You know, there's nights at work where we force you to watch films about racism. And what's the problem? Why are we having this issue, Soho? What's up? Like, we're willing to pay for you to go to school, if it's environmentalism.
He's so mad at Soho right now.
Yeah.
He's just furious.
You can't talk about him.
Yeah.
It is like it. I don't know. We offer free workout classes through REI or something.
It's nothing. I can go to the fucking gym or I can work out at my house. You know?
I remember Wegmans in the DC area. One of their things was they had free yoga for employees. And I think that I was probably just a little, at the time I was like, oh, that's not bad. I would do that. But like a union could get me the amount of money that I could decide where I do my fucking yoga at instead of actually doing it like in the aisles before we turn the lights on.
Yes, absolutely. That is true.
What's happened the past 2 years, it's been too long, and we need to get back to putting fun back into our work.
Oh,
we need fun. It's remember we used to get the Nerf guns out on Fridays and just run around the store and shoot each other, and that was so much better than money. It was just, you can't pay for that kind of experience.
This reminds me of that company that we talked about a long time ago where they made you like go down a slide and do all this like goofy stuff in your job interview, and it's just like, can I just do the job interview, please?
Right.
I don't need this shit.
I don't want to play ping pong right now.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm totally fine with just having a regular ass job without any fun. And like, the only fun you can have at work is with your fellow employees when the manager's not around and you're like goofing off. That's the fun.
Right.
The rest of it is not fun at all. Any of the stuff they make you do is not fun.
It's not helpful when on Friday after work you ask everyone to go to a mountain biking retreat. Like they want to go to the VIP lounge to let some steam off.
Yeah. Yeah. I like in the chat, fellow workers said mandatory fun. That's what's missing.
Yeah.
This is what we need.
God dang it. This damn COVID, it's tearing us apart. Families are just breaking apart. It's a fucking horrible thing to see. And God damn it, we stopped doing Top Golf night, and just everything went to shambles.
It's true. It is in shambles. All right.
Personal experience, the best part of my job has been the time I've spent on the road.
The
in
$3
our
million?
stores, connecting to and listening to our employees, being in our DCs, out in the communities that we serve, dragging a camping trailer across the country to see as many stores as possible, as safely as possible.
That's a
But
bad
no,
flex.
that hasn't been enough.
He's
For
leaking.
I don't
He's
like
leaking
that.
too much superiority.
I
You're
know.
right. He is like, he's sidling up and saying like, damn man, this fucking corona like got me so fucked up, man. Like, oh y'all, can you believe it? Like, he's so mad. But he also has access to anything from the REI catalog for free. He can do anything. He gets everything. He can live the life pro bono.
Yeah, the good, fun, like outdoors
Yeah.
person life that everybody wanted to be doing.
We could like sleep in a different national park every single month.
But nobody could afford it or get the time off work.
Yeah, he's doing it.
Everybody was furloughed at that time.
Let me tell you what's up.
Yeah.
If I was in a union, I never would have had this opportunity.
If you guys had a union, I would have never had it.
Right.
Our connections aren't as
I also I'm mad about this when I think about it too. This is like when I buy something that's way too my Legos.
Okay.
It's like the $400 I've spent on Legos now.
338.
Yeah, $338. It's like that money that I've spent on Legos now.
Uh-huh.
I keep looking at my wife and saying like, yeah, I know it's expensive, but they're keeping me from getting depressed.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, it's actually a good thing.
It's like medication, basically.
That's the traveling that he's fucking talking about. This motherfucker got to travel around the country with a fucking camper. Everybody wants to do that. That is everybody's fucking dream.
Yeah.
And he's saying, like, while I was living everybody's fucking dream, it would bum me out, really.
I went to each store and drank a little of their sadness stew. Then went back to my perfect campground with all the most cutting-edge amenities.
Yeah, yeah.
Want them to be, nor as strong as we all need them to be.
So, right on, Eric.
Right
and just
on, Eric.
Thank you for your candor and your reflections and observations. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Wilma, man,
So, I do
you're
know.
you're a cop.
Wilma's
You're just-
the worst. I'm so
I
mad
know.
at Wilma.
Stop you co-sign this shit.
Yeah. She just let him talk for fucking 9 minutes uninterrupted.
It's like, wow, that's mind-blowing. I didn't even think what it would be like to be the CEO. It's like, wow, that's crazy. That's like mind-boggling.
It's weird because you gotta wonder if like this is the kind of thing that the diversity officer of
You gotta swallow the pill.
REI wants to be doing.
The only way to get a job is just to be willing to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a matter of beliefs or I don't want to judge Wilma as a person, but she knows what Eric wants to hear, and she's probably has a fucking great REI lifestyle as well. Which I would love. I'm very jealous of.
I want it too, man.
As we've been out talking to employees, is that not everyone feels seen or heard. How would you respond to that, Eric?
Oh.
Well, I've heard that too, Wilma. And let me tell you, that's hard for me to hear, but I know that it is absolutely true.
It stings.
The fact that we're in this spot in Soho, in this moment,
In
means
this
something
spot,
didn't work.
the fact that
If a group
DeSoho's
of
a fucking
employees
disaster.
needed to seek different representation for their interests and to speak for them, then I've failed in some fundamental way.
One of my
Fundamental way.
kids is doing therapy. Can you believe it?
That
They
is
have a problem. They have a problem with they were raised. They got everything. They got everything. We gave them discounts. We gave them dividends. We gave them opportunities. We gave them camping weekends. We went and did all this stuff. And, now they got some complaints. Now they're paying out the nose to let somebody else have a conversation. We can't talk one-to-one anymore.
They're going and paying somebody to talk about how bad I am as a parent.
They're saying I'm gaslighting them?
Yeah. That is true. He sounds so This is where he got super disappointed in the employees. But he can't say I'm super disappointed in you. So he codes that by saying I'm disappointed in myself that I dropped the ball.
Oh, yeah. I fucked up.
He's calling a union. He's treating a union drive like it's a fucking disaster.
Like a teenage pregnancy.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he's like, this wouldn't be happening if I had been doing my job right.
Yeah.
Of the co-op way, and something that we obviously must address. I know that. I see that. I take responsibility
You are
for
heard.
that.
You are
and I
seen.
own
Yes.
that.
His
But we are here
cadence
now,
is so dialed
and
in,
over the
dog.
coming weeks,
He's a
He's
shark.
really good, dude.
process
He's
will
good.
play out. The employees of Soho.
There's
will
so many
ultimately vote.
there's just so many psychotic people that buy into this lifestyle that do spout like they share Black Lives Matter Instagram photos and send their kids to schools that are all white people.
Yep.
There are so many people that have to get by on this type of thing. That the NPR lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put into
Sound and
the issue.
just say the right thing. It's like, hey, I believe all the most modern, all the most progressive stuff, but in the end, it's like the old days where we can't do unions.
I mean,
it's like, it's sorry to say it, but like it sounds cool, seems cutting edge. It's like getting your nose pierced, like woo. It's a thing we can do, but at the end of the day, like we have to do the old way where I make more money than all y'all, and we don't listen to what you have to say.
Yeah.
Where I'm your dad, and I just ignore you all. I do neglect individually.
Yes.
I wish we were in a different place. And again, I hold myself
Oh.
accountable for that failing.
Aw.
But I believe in many of the things we do here at REI,
Yeah.
if we don't acknowledge where where we are in an honest way, there is no way to get to where we want to be and need to be.
And where
That's
we want to be is without a union.
And I do also just want to point out something you mentioned earlier, which is that we are now in a formal legal process in Soho.
Yeah,
and
it's unfortunate.
This is my shit here.
So unfortunate.
As you said,
I think
you know,
this is where we're
ultimately
going
decide whether they
to.
want a union
I have to
represent
play
them.
this.
And
Then I will put the timestamp here, and we'll try to hit the rest of this next week, because it is
promise any specific
we still have 10
course
minutes,
correction
15
at
minutes
this
left.
time is constrained for legal reasons, and this is pretty limited to Soho, but I think it's just important to note that there are legal restrictions from us being able to take certain actions to course correct. But in light of that,
That's a good one.
maybe
Yeah, I
in
mean, that's
light
good.
of
I mean, I
that,
think
what do
that's
you see coming over the next.
That's it's pretty cunning in a way to just say, you can insert the rules of engagement into the conversation in a certain way, you know, where it's just like, yes, I believe and support unions and stand for them.
Yeah.
You can say that out loud. And then you can also say shit like that where it's like, I also care deeply more than the union does, but now legally I can't do anything more than the union. Like, I care more than the union. I want to do something. I want to make this right. I'm doing this podcast because I want to make this right.
Yeah.
And I can't. Now the lawyers, now you brought the lawyers in. Look at this. Now we're tied up. It's like we're not even family anymore. There's restraining orders. And Soho, you're my prodigal child. I lost you and I want you back. I want to kiss you all over, but these godforsaken lawyers won't let us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reunite.
Yeah, they fucking love saying that.
They're heartbroken. They're sicker than hell about it. He's sicker than hell about it. He's up like a dog at night, just howling.
This is the union busting way.
Yeah.
Is to say, like, I fucking, we ain't gonna be able to talk anymore. You know?
I wanted to be your dad forever.
Yeah. I'm sorry, we can't talk anymore because these people you brought in. Your therapist. You brought your therapist to Thanksgiving. And now you fucking ruined the whole thing.
It was good what we had before. You said but now we can't have that. No. It's done. No. It's over between us. You're hurting me so bad.
Well, to your point, Wilma, to enter this question here, I think you're absolutely right. And that's really the core of why I'm concerned about a union presence in Soho, or frankly, any of our stores.
Yeah, we figured that.
The reality is, as you've just shared, that under the law, if the union is voted in, then much like the situation you described in Soho, our ability to listen and communicate directly with our employees on anything that impacts their job, whether it's in...
I'm sorry. By law, if a union comes in, our ability to listen to people is gone. If a union comes in, when you talk, I have to stick my fingers in my ears and go la 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 la.
Yeah.
You don't want that, do you?
CEO of REI in front of a microphone. Oh, Wilma, oh my gosh, you're so right. I didn't even think about that. We can't do it. Yeah. So sad.
It's true.
It's just so disgusting.
Individual or a group concern, and then to work together to respond quickly to address those concern changes. We would be required to only deal with the union on matters that impact our employees.
Yeah, that's what they want.
Yeah.
That's what the employees want at this point. That's what they're going to.
And the union is the employees.
Right, that's the people that you're trying to address.
Yeah, it's the same exact people that you're talking to right now.
I mean, yeah, it's like talking to a playground full of people.
Yeah.
And to talk to and address them. You can't address them all individually. One person's going to have to do the thing.
Yeah.
One person's going to have to do the negotiating.
Again, this is the playbook, though. Every time when it comes to unions, when it comes to union busting, it is, we won't be able to talk to you.
Golly gee.
But we do it, these guys are doing it in a more progressive way.
Yeah, no, they're killing it.
From a leftist perspective. They're doing union busting from a leftist perspective.
Yeah.
The legal process we have to follow to do so. I think it's already difficult because of the legal process we are bound to follow in Soho until the vote occurs.
Yeah, that's difficult.
We are prohibited from talking about or taking action on specific concerns the Soho team is sitting with until the vote.
That's great.
If the union vote prevails, we will then, by law, begin a negotiating process with the union, a representative for those employees, and follow the laws that govern those discussions, however long that takes. If the union vote does not prevail, we will then be able to re-engage directly with each employee and the Soho team, and then begin the process to fully understand what led us here. Again, I want to be very respectful. A union may be what our employees ultimately decide they want, and that is their legal right. And as I said earlier, Wilma, we don't always get it right, but I do believe we try. And I want us all to be proud.
Okay.
That's good.
Well, that's
so wonderful. It's so wonderful. It's like, hey, I get it. Y'all are mad, but some of you know it's not the right thing to do. I know some of you out there listening in Soho, you got a little carried away and you're thinking about doing stuff that's going to break the family up. And you know what? It's, as long as this union gets shut down, we can go back to being a family. We can go back to being a family and just stop all this nonsense, all the malarkey, and just get back to the way it was.
Yeah, Psychic Gasoline said this, and I thought this too. He hates Soho. Like, he woke up the day that he found out, and he cursed.
He's brushing his teeth, thinking about it, doing his moisturizers, getting a little afternoon snack, thinking about it.
His face fucking heated up, and he kicked his fucking bed and stubbed his toe.
It's like, no, and you know what? I do respect unions. I'm a progressive millionaire that respects the workers' rights. They've fought and died for a lot of important things. I've shared that meme before. It's just not right for us. It just doesn't feel right in my stomach when I look at it, thinking about, if I have to do it, no. Not me.
He keeps leaving the room and then popping back into his wife and being like, my dad was in a union.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You think I hate fucking unions? What? Yeah, you're right. Why he's like standing up and getting a sock or a shoe on.
Yeah. And then he fucking leaves, and then he texts her when he gets out the door.
Yeah.
It's like, I fucking always supported unions forever.
Hey, funny thing, on my Facebook memories, I shared this photo like 10 years ago of me on the picket line with my dad's union. Back when I was in college. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't into it.
The REI that we stored and being part of our future. And while there may be times it doesn't feel like it, we absolutely do listen when we speak up. We take our employee and your concerns very seriously.
Okay.
And I was just thinking, my time and again, employees have seen us take real action based upon their ideas and their suggestions.
Not Soho.
In the earliest days of the pandemic, we closed our stores weeks earlier than any other businesses.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Weeks earlier than union shops. And we kept them.
This is such a psychotic thing to do also. It means like from March to May 2020, every day he took a shower and he was like, these fucking people, I'm just doing so much for them.
Yeah.
I'm doing so much better than they ever could expect. All these other places suck. I'm so good at this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the best. And he's just getting off on it.
I'm fucking navigating this thing. He's like
just
Andrew
using
Cuomo.
his evidence. It was just, it's one of those people that just hold evidence against you.
Yeah, he's like Andrew Cuomo. He was saying, like, I'm handling this thing fucking great, man. And meanwhile, people are like dying in nursing homes and shit.
We had the right protocols and procedures in place to operate safely. That was for our employees.
Oh.
To keep you safe. We turned off the taps and stepped into unknown territory. And in the moment, we had no idea if the co-op would even survive. Yet we paid everyone for the first 30 days.
Oh.
And when we reopened, we brought back more than 95% of our retail teams from furlough.
They furloughed the motherfucker. They furloughed him. He's like, we handled it great. We paid for 30 days, and then we furloughed everybody, and then we brought them back.
Yeah, honestly, if we're talking to the wokest of us all, you did fine. The government paid checks on all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a blank check for whatever it took to keep things running. So, not that hard of a decision. Like, if I was in charge of the company, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah. I can't believe he said, I cannot believe when he said we closed earlier in a lot of union shops.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did say
He's
that.
fucking talking about grocery stores, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Places that could not close. Period.
Yeah, I forgot that detail.
Yeah. Yeah.
During
We
the
beat the
furlough
unions.
period, we paid 100% of every employee's benefits. I even reflect on those days now when we came back up, and it wasn't easy for any of us. And some of the protocols and safety procedures were not working for you. We heard you, we adjusted, we listened to your feedback, and we moved quickly.
Well, thank you. I mean, we
And
were
now
the
as we
ones in the
fast
store.
forward, even to this year, the national and local protocols have been crazy for us all.
Oh,
But we
yeah, it's
constantly work together to improve, sometimes moving too slow, sometimes moving too fast, but always with your safety at the center and always working to make it better based upon listening, upon learning, and adjusting as quickly as possible together. And I think as many of you know, or I hope our employees know, in 2020, we lost $50 million as a co-op.
Oh, no.
my gosh, Eric, that's a lot of money. Oh my goodness.
SpaghettiOs. You know,
Was it bad for you?
they had to make that money back in 2021 just because of the amount of people that were going outdoors.
I mean,
You
in
know what I'm
2020,
saying?
people were going.
I know,
outdoors.
that's what I'm saying. So when they
We took a
opened back up, it
vacation
went
in
nuts.
2020.
Yeah,
And yeah, definitely
With
bought
mad
some
REI
recreational equipment.
yeah, yeah.
We shared that with our members. We have to remember.
No,
because
Grimgar in the chat is right. I bet he means they were just 50 million short of projections.
Yes. Yeah.
Like we were gonna make 200 million, but we did 150.
Yeah, yeah. Fellow worker says outdoor recreation businesses famously did extremely well during
Yeah.
the pandemic.
No,
yeah.
it was not an issue.
Yeah, and then again, I put Nixo4. I got that wrong. Oh no, they made 200 million this year. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's the number, but you know they made a shit ton of fuck. They made all this money back that
Yeah.
they say that they lost. None of it. They didn't lose shit. They didn't lose a dime. The government probably paid them the 50 million.
Yeah.
Fucker. All right, last little piece here, I think, for this
who
show.
persistently lose money will not be able to invest in employees, have the capital to invest in winning strategies, and frankly won't be around for long.
Okay.
We were willing to risk it all when we did not have the data and the facts to know that we could keep our employees safe. And we've continued to invest significantly in keeping our employees safe. I even think about outside Wilma. Each and every year we choose to close our doors on the busiest shopping day of the year. Why?
Cool.
Because our employees, the folks in our stores in DCs, told us that working on Black Friday was an awful experience. They had never seen the light of day if they worked in retail for a long period of time. We had the opportunity.
Okay. I'm going to say this.
This is how we started talking about REI.
Yeah.
I remember mentioning that 7 or 8 years ago at this point.
Yes. I do want to say, when they close on Black Friday, I'm not trying to be a guy that expects the job to buy me a gourmet lunch every day.
You are actually.
I am.
You
I'm
actually
that guy.
advocate for that regularly.
Nothing too good for the workers, okay? REI closing on Black Friday and Thanksgiving is a little bit pointless to me if they're not closed on Saturday and Sunday too. That's the point of the it's a 4-day weekend. It's not a 2-day weekend. They should be closed
Wow,
Saturday
you
and
are-
Sunday.
You are too picky.
No, I'm just saying what it is. That's the truth. It's a 4-day weekend.
There's never been a 4-day weekend. What during the calendar? When does a 4-day weekend ever exist?
I'm saying that Thanksgiving every year for a lot of people is a 4-day weekend. That's what it is known
4-day
as.
bender.
But it's known as a 4-day weekend to people who work like, middle class jobs and shit like that. People who work in offices and stuff. It's
Okay.
known as a 4-day weekend. It's not known as a 2-day weekend. They should give them Saturday and Sunday off.
Wow, you really pushed the limit. You really challenge REI. Eric, I hope you hear this.
Yeah, Eric.
I hope you do some Google searches or you have an alert system and you hear this shit.
Yeah.
Because you should do 4 days if you give a fuck.
If you really cared, you
Let
would
everybody
give...
chill for 4 days.
Listen, if he really cared, he would give them 4 days. And that's the way I feel.
Some fellow worker brought it up, but yeah, that is a good time to have 4 days to resell PS5s all weekend long.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, if this is still something we want to talk about next Wednesday, we will definitely play the rest. We got to 16 minutes in it. There's still 11 minutes left, so it's very long.
Yeah.
I did not think we were going to get all the way through it. But what a piece of audio. What an incredible piece of audio that is.
Yeah. Maybe we just play the rest at the end of the show.
I don't know if people want to hear the rest of it without us talking. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Well, I'll send Jake the link and he can put it in the show notes.
Good idea.
For the whole thing. We got exactly 16 minutes into it. So all I gotta do is fast forward to 16 minutes in, you know?
Right.
I didn't ever believe we were going to get 25 minutes into it. I just wanted to get started so we could get as much of it as we could. What a crazy fucking thing this is. Really, just...
Yeah, I mean, it's more indicative of how you can't reform the system. Like, we have to create unrest for a very long period of time that disrupts all of this, because this is all you get from companies that get it, you know?
Yeah, there isn't
they
a
don't want
company
to talk
that
to
gets
the
it.
employees about what their life is, their lived experience. Like, that's the therapy word that they're ignoring, is lived experience. Does anyone talk to them about that? You know, like what the lived experience of an REI person is, you know? Because like this type of shit doesn't work. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't. I don't know. They're always just going to see themselves as exemplary and other people deserving struggle.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do. Every day, it pushes me more and more and more to just be like, there aren't like good companies. I mean, you know, when me and you talk about like the small business tyrant, you can't just do small businesses. You know what I mean? There aren't any companies that are doing the right things. There are companies that signal that they're doing the right things, but they don't really believe the right things or do the right things. And it's a real fucking bummer. And like, I didn't think REI was like the perfect place, but they do have that word co-op in their thing. And it hits a spot in my brain.
Yeah.
That makes me not ever consider the fact that they've never asked me to come in there to work, which is what you would have at a co-op. That's what co-ops are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say, I mean, there's a situation where you got to get by and people run businesses and do their thing, but then there's also being in charge of millions and millions of dollars, and it's. If a local small business tyrant is fighting to make $90,000 a year, you know, like, it's not the same as someone that's making, you know, $1 million off of anything. Like, I don't care if you have to go from a $3 million lifestyle to a $1 million lifestyle. Like, I'm not gonna weep for you. I don't give a fuck. I think like my expectations are pretty low for amenities on life, and I think for everybody they are, but these rich fuckos are the ones that demand they get all this special ass crazy shit, and we get robbed because of it.
And yeah, and they're so... It sucks the way that... It sucks because, like, there are people who are like, well, I only buy my outdoor supplies at REI. Sure, it's a little more expensive, but it's a more ethical, good company. And it's like, what are the other things that REI does when we talk about like stewardship of the environment, when they talk about how they do that, and when they talk about how they do all these things, like are they also like doing stuff that's bad for the like, what are the labor practices on the REI brand clothes that they make and shit like that? It's just like that kind of thing is like, it can send you down a wormhole. And it also, again, it's like it's the same thing with Starbucks. It's like, I don't know how we do it, but we gotta get in these fucking people's brains, these like kind of liberal people's brains, and explain to them that there isn't a progressive business. You know what I mean? There isn't a progressive big box store, I guess is the thing, you know? So that is our show for this week. We will see you next Wednesday. You will hear me on Saturday or Friday with I'm Sorry with Stefan Heck. For some reason, the show called I'm Sorry has had 2 Canadians on it. So it really should be called I'm Sorry.
Good point.
We listened to Joe Rogan's apology for saying the N-word. We listened to, we read Mario Batali's apology for when he got Me Too'd. I don't know if you've ever seen that, Brett, but
Missed it.
it's got quite a spoiler. I'm going to send it to you right now on the air, and then you don't say anything. I want to send it to you on the air because you're going to fucking love it. Well, you might not love it, but it's going to make you, hold on.
I
I
gotta
gotta
watch it.
It's
now?
not a wa. It's just a thing. Like it's just a it's a JPEG, and I'm trying to find
He
it.
apologized with a JPEG, like an NFT.
Like on his page, on his like blog. Damn it, I'm never gonna find this now. But I don't want to say it on the air. Oh, here it is. I'm sending it to you right now.
Am I allowed to look at it?
Yeah,
But I can't say it.
there it is. Yeah, don't say it out loud. Just the reaction will be good.
All right, let's see it.
It's the PS that gets you.
Yeah, I mean, you still gotta go to work. You get Me Too, you still gotta go to work.
Yeah. Well, that is the show. We'll see you next week.
All right, peace. We'll see you